content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society, Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry.
And welcome into the DMV Stream Studio. My name is Cameron Anderson here, bringing you an MPSSAA. That's Maryland Public School football preview. It's the playoff season, and we're now into the quarterfinals. Let's take a look at the bracket real quick. After some of last week's action, the teams got reseeded based on their regular season record. Quince Orchard, you can see there in the top left, taking on Arundel. Quince Orchard, the reigning state champions, of course, undefeated on the season. They beat Walter Johnson 55-21 in the second round of the playoffs. They have other big wins. They beat Northwest 17-7 at home earlier this year. But the story of their season is really running back Marquez Cooper. That's the guy to watch. He had 1,500 yards from scrimmage and 30 touchdowns in the regular season. And last week against Walter Johnson, he had, listen to this stat line, 26 carries for 333 yards and 4 touchdowns. It is very blatantly obvious how Quince Orchard plans to win their games, and for two years in a row now, it has been working behind that man, Marquez Cooper, obviously taking on Arundel, who won 47-34, really the surprise of the second round, as they beat South River, who was previously undefeated. So Arundel's going to try and beat undefeated teams in back-to-back weeks. Obviously an uphill task, but they are halfway there, but playing against the reigning champions, Quince Orchard, you don't love their chances in that game. And let's move on now to the bottom left of the bracket. It's Northwest. Only one loss on the year. They won 42-3 this past weekend against Richard Montgomery. They won 24-12 against that matchup, Paint Branch, earlier this season. Their only loss is to Quince Orchard 17-7, as I mentioned earlier. So they've got to be one of the top couple teams in the entire state, feeling good about their chances if they can take care of Paint Branch. And we'll come back to Paint Branch, but from now, let's move to the bottom right of the bracket. You can see Wise, another undefeated team. They won 20-6 last weekend against Suitland. Jaleel Farouk, athlete, absolute star for them, can run the ball out of the backfield and catch passes, had 98 rushing yards on the day, but it was not a very clean game for the Pumas, as they lost 3 fumbles on offense, including one by Frooks. They're going to have to clean that up against a very, very tough Flowers team. Flowers with one loss on the year. They beat Bowie 18-7 last week. Their running back, Tristan Shannon, had 196 yards and 3 touchdowns past week. And on the defensive side of the ball, they had 10 sacks. James Pitt had 3 of them. So expect a defensive battle as Flowers has taken on Wise there in the bottom half of the bracket. Wise obviously undefeated, as I mentioned. Now let's go back over to the bottom left and Paint Branch, who are taking on Northwest. Should be one of the games of the weekend. Obviously, all the games are great now in the quarterfinals. But Paint Branch, they beat Sherwood 21-14 last weekend. Their only loss actually is in this exact matchup to Northwest. That was way back, though, in early September. So they will have they will have revenge, I should say, on the mind, with a spot in the state semifinals on the line. Obviously, running back Sam Doku leading their offense, and their defense led by Wisdom Agbayome. That's going to be the story for them, to see if they can keep that Northwest offense and defense obviously in check in that matchup. And then finish off in the top right, Parkville, another undefeated team in the state. They won 48-7 versus Einstein last weekend. They've been consistently blowing teams out. Their defense has only allowed 7 points in the last 4 weeks combined, just to give you a sense of the type of role that they're on. And they're going to be taking on Old Mill, who had a tough 19-6 victory versus Meade last weekend. So that should be a great matchup, and all 8 of the teams remaining will have the title on their mind, as they can sense it. They're only 3 wins away at this point from holding that trophy, that Maryland Public School football trophy. Obviously, Quince Orchard, the reigning state champion, still in it. We'll look to defend that title. So go check out any of those games if you can, because it will be elite football on display. And if you want to see us preview any of the other matchups, any of the other regions in Northern Virginia, in Virginia, or in D.C. with the WCAC, then head on over to DMVSTREAM.com.
At DMVSTREAM.com, we use state-of-the-art live streaming and video production tools to create an unparalleled viewing experience from local sporting events. Whether we're using our 12-foot HD broadcast production truck or employing one of our state-of-the-art fly-pack kits, our broadcasts always include multiple camera angles, instant replay, live scoring, graphics, and a complete broadcast crew working together to showcase the DMV's finest. Contact us today to learn more about our services and streaming packages. Visit us on the web at DMVStream.com.